Morning. Marcus here. I want to talk to you about your proclivity to look at your phone all the time and some things you can do to reduce that. And what we're going to talk about today is that the studies are out. You're on track to spend 40% of your waking life looking at a screen or screens. And your screen time can vary widely depending on what kind of person you are, or maybe it's part of your job. I think it's important to come out to the woods, though. To take a stroll through the woods. Probably a good thing to do. Now, I want to talk to you today about what you can do to reduce the footprint of your phone in your mind. Now, first thing you can do is clean up your phone. Sorry, that was kind of it was said in a derogatory tone, which is unintended, but it's intended for people like myself who had really jumbled up, disorganized phone screen until now, or not now, earlier, where I just organized everything. And there's a bunch of small little apps that they take up like maybe some part of your mind's real estate, where if you just delete all those and clean it all up, it would probably help. And I put all the language learning apps into one folder to get back to that. But other than that, just putting everything on one screen so you don't have to switch over to another screen, or just have them all on two screens. But mainly it is to structure your mind and maybe do a pattern interrupt by changing the home screen on your phone to represent something more aligned to your goals currently. And it seems to be a good thing for me, because it's a little pattern interrupt where it's like, you look at your phone and you are always used to see the same thing, and maybe your mind is kind of latching on to some level in your phone. So your phone is essentially some extension of your mind, and interacting with it has all these tentacles in your mind, I think, where, you got to reply to this email, or you got to send this person, or you got to do what XYZ. And, well, you don't really have to do any of that, but I'm just saying, like, based on what your goals are and what you want to do, your phone screen should represent something aligned to your goals and not have it be taking time away from you that you didn't want taken away. It is like part of your mind is leaking. Not leaking, but you can see what I mean. There's cracks where your mind energy is getting extracted from with various things that you do. I don't know if any of this makes sense. Makes sense in my mind, but now I want to tell you guys a story about going out and taking a detour. And me and my buddy, we're walking through the woods, and we were trying to find there's this abandoned town. It was an old logging town back in the 1900s, and it had kind of boomed and busted, boom and bust, since I think the price of lumber had gone down exponentially, and so the town just kind of vacated. And what we were looking at the map, and we saw, oh, this is where the old abandoned town is, and sorry. And we went and found that. We didn't find it, but we went to search for it, and it was across treacherous terrain, and we were going through some heavy brush, like heavy trees and all the above. And we traversed through for hours and hours in the forest, and we eventually ended up, we were looking at the satellite imagery, and we saw that there was like essentially a road. It was like a dirt path that showed up on the maps, and we started towards it, and it took us a long time, but we eventually got it, and it was an old logging road. And what ended up happening is we just took that logging road right back to the trailhead. But afterwards, I got back, and that was probably a week ago or something along those lines, and I get back and I get all itchy, and I remember my friend had told me that there was poison oak, that there was poison oak out there, and it's probably poison oak what I have currently. Anyways, the reason I'm telling you this is, if you don't get poison oak once in a while, Are you really living? No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't take that extreme of a stance, but my point is, it's okay to get poison oak once in a while. I mean, I don't recommend it at all, and I should have probably watched out and been more careful. But it's okay to take that detour and go through that. It'll make you feel something, at least. But I don't recommend anyone go out and get poison oak. That's not the purpose of that's not my intention to say you should go out and get poison oak. But if you do go out there and you end up getting poison oak, it sucks. No, but what I'm saying is it's all right, because it was probably an experience that was good. Maybe not. Maybe it's not the case at all. Maybe you just had a horrible time, but likely it's not. More than likely, it's a good time. And you're gonna just have to deal with the consequences afterwards. But would I go back and not do that? Maybe I'd go back and like watch where I stepped a little closer. But I wouldn't trade that experience of going out and trying to find an abandoned town, which we never found, but turns out that there's not much to find left. But we did see some concrete. So there was some concrete which was overgrown, and it was from a mill, something along those lines. But now, what am I saying in all this? I'm saying I don't know. Not sure, honestly. Might not even post this. This channel is for people that like to enjoy. What day is it today? It's a Monday. It is a Monday. I like to enjoy Monday mornings. There's the office space. It looks like someone's got a case of the Mondays. Like, has anyone ever told you that? No, I believe that you will get hit if you say that. I'm butchering it. But let's see if we can't read something cool. Let's get some Rilke up in here. All right, ready? It is good that you are presently entering a profession that will make you independent and set you entirely on your own in every sense. Wait patiently to find out whether your inner life feels cramped by the form of this profession. I consider it very difficult and very exacting, as it is burdened with great conventions and scarcely leaves room for a personal conception of its problems. But your solitude will be a hold and home for you, even amid very unfamiliar conditions, and from there you will find all your ways. All my wishes are ready to accompany you, and my confidence is with you. Yours, Rainier Marie Rilke. I'll read some more. You must know, dear Mr. Kappas, how glad I was to have that lovely letter from you. The news you give me, real and tellable as it now is again, seems good to me, and the longer I have thought it over, the more I have felt it to be in fact good. I really wanted to write you this Christmas Eve, but what with work, in which I am living this winter, variously and uninterruptedly, the ancient holiday approached so fast that I had hardly any time left to attend to the most necessary errands, much less to write. But I have thought of you often during these holidays, and imagine how quiet you must be in your lonely fort amongst the empty hills, upon which these big southerly winds precipitate themselves as though they would devour them in great pieces. The stillness must be immense, in which such sounds have room, and movements have room. And when one thinks that to it all the presence of the far-off sea comes chiming in as well, perhaps as the inmost tone in that prehistoric harmony, then one can only wish for you that you are confidently and patiently letting that lofty solitude work upon you, which is no more to be stricken out of your life, which in everything there is ahead of you to experience, to do, will work as an anonymous influence, continuously and gently decisive, much as in us blood of ancestors ceaselessly stirs and mingles with our own into that unique, not repeatable being which at every turning of our life we are. Yes, I'm glad you have that steady, expressible existence with you, that title, that uniform, that service, all that tangible and limited reality, which in such surroundings, with a similarly isolated and not numerous command, takes on seriousness and necessity, implies a vigilant application above and beyond the military profession's tendency to play and to pass the time, and not only allows but actually cultivates a self-reliant attentiveness. And to be among conditions that work at us, that set us before big natural things from time to time, is all we need. Art, too, is only a way of living, and however one lives, one can unwittingly prepare oneself for it. In all that is real, one is close. In all that is real, one is closer to it and more nearly neighbored than in the unreal half-artistic professions, which, while they pretend proximity to some art, in practice belie and assail the existence of all art, as for instance the whole of journalism does, and almost all criticism, and three-quarters of what is called and wants to be called literature. I'm glad, in a word, that you have surmounted the danger of falling into this sort of thing and are somewhere in a rough reality, being solitary and courageous. May the year that is at hand uphold and strengthen you in that. Ever yours, Renee Maria Rilke. That's beautiful. I am glad, in a word, that you have surmounted the danger of falling into this sort of thing, and are somewhere in a rough reality, being solitary and courageous. That's nice. That's beautiful. Well, fellow traveler, we'll see you on the next one.